Hey guys. So, for most of us, we are finishing up our first week of quarantine. And I know for many of you, working from home and doing school from home is a completely new experience, something that you're probably not as familiar with doing. So, having everybody in the house at once can seem very odd and maybe at sometimes stressful. And you're trying to come up with ideas on what to do to keep everybody active while still trying to get all of this stuff that you need to get done and keep everybody sane and in good spirits. Obviously, this is a very stressful time and it's scary because there's a lot of unknowns. We have no idea how long is this going to last? What does this look like? Everybody's concerned for their family members, safety and health wise. And so in order to try and keep the peace and honestly try to keep our spirits up, I thought it might be a really good idea to give you some additional ideas and advice on some ways to spend time with your family so that this doesn't have to be a hellacious experience, but instead one that's actually positive. So, we're going to turn a negative into a positive and a way that we can bond with our family members, learn something, maybe teach a little responsibility, and have fun in a time that honestly is not the most fun experience of our lives. So, if you bear with me, I thought it might be a cool idea to sit through and tell you, like I said, some ideas I've come up with. This is for all age groups, and you would obviously want to customize some of these ideas for your family, for the ages that your children are, the ability levels that your children are, and basically your rules of your house, too. So, here we go. The hardest thing of staying at home is keeping a routine, keeping structure, keeping a schedule. When kids are in school, they have a schedule. And kids, honestly, as much as they're going to sit there and complain to you and say, I hate this and I hate going to school, they actually like routine. They like knowing what's coming up next. And they like the comfort of just kind of the same thing, if you will. So while being at home is fabulous and that should be a safe, comfortable place for them, they've lost some of that structure and some of those things that are known to them. So to help them just feel a little bit more in line and honestly also to prevent the whole sleep in until noon and just watch Netflix all day, it's super crucial to keep a routine in your house. So, one of the things I was thinking was actually sitting together as a family and making a schedule. And by a schedule, I'm not saying everything like 1 o'clock, we're going to do this, and 2 o'clock. It doesn't have to be super rigid, but think about how you can structure your day so that they know what to expect. So it's not just mad chaos or kids fighting or people running around all day long. And let them be a part of the process. So it doesn't feel like, God, all mom's doing is yelling at me all day. But let them have a say so that they have ownership and responsibility. So maybe your schedule does include, hey, guess what? From these hours, we're doing school and mom and or dad have to work. So these are times that we're all going to work right now and we're all going to do our own independent work. And then leave time for playtime, unstructured activities. Try to do things with reading and try to do things letting them, if the weather's nice, play outside, walk the dog, um, do experiences, chores. Hey, teach them real life situations. That's, I know, the biggest thing that I always hear parents complain about is school doesn't teach kids real life. Guess what, mom and dad? You have the opportunity now to teach them some of those real life skills that they maybe are not getting in school. And how do you do that? Moving on to my next point is if you believe in an allowance, if your kids get an allowance, if you pay them something, and honestly, you don't even have to exchange money. If you sit there and you say, I'm not giving like I don't believe in giving kids money. Cool. What are things that they really enjoy? What are some incentives that you can provide for your children? Something to work towards. And if you are somebody who says, guess what? I love paying my kids. Awesome. Don't just give them a blank, here's your $5, your $10, your $20. Instead, make them earn it. So, how do you do that? I know Dave Ramsey actually has a program for kids and he calls it a commission. And what it is you actually have the list of chores that the child has to do. So maybe it's as simple as make your bed every morning. Maybe you want them to do the dishes or the laundry, or, you're going to vacuum, dust, depending again on the age of the child and how much responsibility you want to give them. You can do something as elaborate as here's the chore list. And when you do it, you're going to check it off. You can give them like a little pay slip, like make those up. And every time they do one of their chores, check it off. At the end of the week, boom, here's what I have accomplished. And make sure that there is a dollar amount attached to every chore they do. So if it's $1 every night you wash the dishes, guess what, Mom? I washed the dishes for 5 nights. Rock on. You just earned yourself $5. If it's, well, I only did it one night, well, looks like you got $1 today. And again, if it's multiple chores that they have to do, give them those dollar amounts so that by the end, they are actually physically seeing and putting together, oh, when I do work, it directly translates into a value of me, for me, not of me, for me. So that the child starts to associate work with money. So it's not just, I just hold my hand out, mom just gives me $20 and I'm done. I didn't even have to do anything this week for it. It gives them a sense of responsibility and also probably gives them a little bit more insight into what you do. The fact that you have to go to work and you have to bring money into the household, you don't just breathe and all of a sudden money just falls from the sky. Cooking and or baking. So something fun to do with your kids is actually teach them how to prepare meals. And you can go as crazy and as elaborate as sitting there and talking to them about the science of what happens when different foods are put together or different ingredients when you're baking cookies. What happens when ingredients react together? How does bread rise? What happens? You can go into more detail there, or you can just do something as simple as guess what? You're going to be in the kitchen with me and we're going to do these things together. It could be if they're little, maybe you guys make pizzas together. So they get to put their own cheese on things, their own toppings, and you can have everything kind of portioned out so the kid just doesn't literally take the entire bag of cheese and dump it on there. You could also do an oatmeal bar in the morning. So that again, here's your bowl of oatmeal and then here's some toppings. What do you want? Put them on top. If your kids are older, maybe you say, guess what? You're in charge of making breakfast for the family today. You're in charge of making lunch. We'll all make dinner or you'll make dinner. They can also then learn how to cook, learn what goes into the food that they're actually eating, how much time it takes. And also, if you're so inclined, you can also start talking about nutrition. There is that the plate. I know it used to be the food pyramid, now it's the plate. And it shows the different portions, like that they should have so many vegetables, so many starches, so many fats, so much meats, proteins, all of that. So you can actually sit there and they can even help you plan out the meals for the week and use these structures so that you sit there and you say, guess what? Did I put together a healthy meal? Did I have too much of this or too much of that? So not only are they learning real life skills, but they're also learning nutrition, how to take care of their body. And again, if you're so inclined to go into science, why things react or work together, you could also do math. Have them, hey, we're going to double the recipe. We're going to cut it in half. Now they're dealing with fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. And it's not just sitting in front of their math book or in front of their computer, but they're actually now using it in real life applications. So guess what? When am I ever going to use this stuff? Now you are. This is how you cook. And when you get out on your own, you're going to have to learn how to take care of yourself somehow. So let's start now. Unplug for an hour a day at least. So, especially now since we're all doing things online and virtual, working from home, going to school at home, there's a lot of opportunity for us to be in front of a computer and then downtime. Maybe we're watching movies and TVs and then maybe we're on our phones. And there's just a lot of opportunity to be in front of a device. So, say, no, no, no. We're going to all unplug for an hour a day and we're going to go do something fun together. Maybe that means we're going to do family game nights. Maybe that means that we're going to, you know what, we're just going to all read our own books or we're going to read a book together. Maybe you start a family book club and then you guys get to read the books and have a discussion. Sit down and maybe just talk to your family, have honest, open discussions. If you're into karaoke, maybe you'll sing some karaoke, you sing some songs, but you do something that allows basically your family to connect without the distractions of phones, TVs, computers, and really the outside world. And now all of the things and items that are really taking our attention. So use this time as an opportunity to reconnect to each other and to have some fun. Talk to your kids about what is going on. So this is scary for a lot of them because as unsure as you feel, they feel the same way. They don't really understand what this whole coronavirus thing is. They are hearing, of course, on the news, on social media, everywhere you look, they talk about death. They talk about how it just keeps expanding. They talk about how people in different countries are really being stuck in their own homes and things. And the gravity of the situation is every day changing, every hour changing, and it's scary for them. So instead of trying to shield them from it, engage them in it. If they're old enough, have them watch the news or have them read news articles and then sit down and talk to them about it. Explain to them what the virus actually is, how it's impacting life, why we're doing this whole quarantine thing, and what we're hoping to do to help each other by doing this. That this is not a punishment, that this is not society trying to control each other, but instead it's a group of people trying to help and keep everybody safe. And sometimes kids have a really hard time expressing their feelings. They're not exactly sure how to talk to you and how to tell you how they're exactly feeling because they may not even know themselves. So, some artistic ways that I know a lot of art teachers or therapists use and music teachers and therapists use is art and music to express your feelings. So if your child is at all artistic, ask them, create me something, a model, a drawing, a painting, how you're feeling. What are your emotions? What does that look like? And then that's an actual visual representation of how they're feeling. And now you can talk about it. Hey, why did you use those colors? Ooh, why does it look like this? Oh, it's all bright and sunny. You must be pretty safe and pretty happy, and you're okay with this. Music wise, I used to have my kids write song lyrics. You would be shocked at how intuitive kids are with words. So ask them, you know what? Write a song about how you're feeling about this. Put it into lyrics. And kids are going to sit there and it's easier for them all of a sudden if they're thinking of it in more of a musical capacity versus a write me a story or a sentence or a big old paper. And a lot of the times they're able to express themselves in lyrics. Or if they're maybe, I play the piano, I play an instrument, do a mood piece. How are you feeling? Try to compose. They're now using artistic expression and they're also getting to show how they feel, get some of those emotions out. And again, gives you an additional way to conversate and talk about how they're feeling. And then you can help to rectify some of those feelings and make them feel safe and comfortable because that at the end of the day that's really what they need. If you or your spouse and maybe both of you work, maybe you're working from home right now and the kids are seeing you work, and instead of shutting the door and being like, be quiet, I'm going to work for 8 hours, I don't want to see you, things like that, invite them in. Now, I'm not saying invite them into like an important business call or a conference where you really need to be focused, but let them see what you do. Maybe teach them a little bit about what your job is, what kind of education you had to go through in order to get that, or what type of training you had to do. How did you get up here? What other jobs did you have? You would be shocked the number of kids that have no idea what professions are out there anymore for them to partake in. They don't know. And it's not because they're stupid, it's not because they're disconnected. They just a lot of people don't talk about it anymore, about what is available for them. So, in order for them to kind of see what opportunities are out there, let them watch you work and maybe even give them some tasks. You can role play. You can, oops, sorry, I hit my microphone. You can role play. You can teach them these are going to be the different things that I do during a day. Or you know what? You can do this task for me. And maybe it is a simple task that they can do and allow them to participate. Again, now you're spending more time with them. They're learning real life skills and they're also gaining an appreciation for what you do every day. So while they're at school, they don't know what you do. They don't understand. You might give them a job title, but they really have no idea what that means. And honestly, try to do something physical. So it's super easy to stay more sedentary, to sit. And as I've said so many times, we're working, we're learning from home. So we're being more sedentary right now. Take those opportunities to walk the dog, to get outside, play in your yard, play catch. Maybe you can even set up a relay course outside in your backyard, and or a relay race or an obstacle course, or even encourage your own kids to go outside and do those things and just be moving and playing. If you are on social media or are on YouTube, there are so many free resources. There's always been a lot of actually free resources for workouts and activities that you can do for a family, but now there's even more. Like places that normally you'd have to go in to do it are offering their same classes streaming live. Other places that maybe you had to pay for a subscription are actually saying, hey, give us a 3-week trial. Um, so they might be slightly capitalizing on what's going on, but they're also giving you the opportunity to go out and to try their product and to have fun and to engage as a family. And whether or not you continue, that's up to you. But at least, again, you can bond, you can work out, you can do something physical, and you're not just being stuck to a chair or a desk. So, those were just some ideas I came up with. And obviously, you're going to want to modify and change them for the age of your child, for the beliefs of your family, for the situation that the current like housing situation that you're living at, versus meaning like if you're all in an apartment, that might be slightly different when I'm talking about going to the backyard. You might have to go to a park or something like that. So obviously make these things for what you need them to be. And I hope this just helps to alleviate and bring a little bit more fun and connection to your life. So keep up the positive attitude, everyone. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.